Hi guys, we're back. We're back. Right. So welcome to everyone. Now that was an interesting show, wasn't it, guys? So, I think this is going to take about 10 episodes for me to get through this. We'll probably do a dog walk on it as well. I'm not going to be able to get through all this today. There's so many different angles to come at this because I'm trying to come at it from the point of view of Bridget. I'm trying to come at this from the point of view of Priscilla, the fans. Then I want to get all the history up. Obviously, we want to discuss, the court documents, the details. We want to discuss the history, meaning, how all this started. Yeah, why Priscilla even signed all these contracts. How Brigitte Kruse really went out of her way to help Priscilla. So the history in that, the relationship with Brigitte Kruse and Priscilla when they were just selling items together, when they were just friends, because they were so close that Bridget and Priscilla were very close, weren't they? Like friends of the family, yeah. The kids knew them, yeah. Riley and Philly and Harper knew Bridget, and this friendship went on for a few years. So I do understand that Bridget was devastated that hi Jamie, how you going, my friend? I do understand that Brigitte Kruse was a bit gutted that everything went wrong. Probably very surprised that Priscilla ghosted her with all these contracts. The whole thing has been quite a saga. Obviously the video that was played that filmed Priscilla and Bridget signing the contracts, and they've got this so-called independent lawyer that doesn't seem very independent to me, but okay, yeah. So actually not independent. It's supposed to be there on behalf of Priscilla, but it didn't feel that way. All right, so Elvis and Friends, you do have a channel. I wondered if you had a channel. Get me on Facebook, Elvis and Friends, and add me on, and I'll find your channel. Right. So Brigitte Kruse, I don't know if any of you know, Brigitte Kruse did join our show. Yeah. So she could be with us now. There's a good shot. I do like to know from Bridget what went wrong. Hi Pat. I am surprised Bridget joined us, but at the same time, why not? She's joined us many times before. Remember, Brigitte Kruse was quite friendly with our channel, yeah, for quite a while. But she did, obviously, she went on other channels. She went on Joe Rare Elvis Photos has chatted with Bridget. Obviously, Shauna has. I do think Shauna took it a bit too far because Shauna, I don't know, she tends to put people on a bit of a pedestal. No offense, Shauna, but you do tend to put people on a pedestal. Okay, yeah, I will. Elvis and Friends, I will find it. Okay, Bridget, you do tend to put people on a pedestal a bit, and sort of, I don't know. I personally think Shauna gets a bit carried away. Yeah. See, I was happy that we had a friendship with Brigitte Kruse, but I don't take it to another level. Like we're best mates. I don't. Everything you say is perfect and you can do no wrong. This is where I think Shauna goes too far. She 100% suddenly Bridget was her best mate. She goes too far with it. That's my opinion. I'm not even having a dig. I'm just saying I tried to sit on the fence, even though I did want Bridget to win. I always said I wanted Bridget to win because I'm upset with Priscilla. I do think Bridget has played on that a bit, that she knows the Elvis fans are unhappy with Priscilla and want Priscilla to go down. So I do think Bridget sort of took advantage of that. That's just my opinion. Remember, this whole show is for entertainment purposes only. Just opinion, not fact, just a discussion. We're having a chat. We're sharing opinions. Yeah? So we got history with Bridget. I still, even now, no matter what's gone on, I still would prefer that Bridget wins her case, wins her lawsuit. Yeah, I still would rather side with Bridget than, well, I definitely wouldn't side with Priscilla. But it's awkward, isn't it? Because we know that Bridget and Priscilla were close, and the negotiating concerning Danielle, Riley, and the amendments to the trust, and the burial place in the meditation garden. We know that Bridget helped in that. She was like the attorney-in-law. Is that what they call it? We also think, how can I say it, guys? Come on, Priscilla and Bridget made a lot of money together. It's obvious. These letters of recollection do concern me. Used to help sell items. I do worry about it, but I worry about it from the point of view of an Elvis fan. Yeah. So we Elvis fans are very protective towards Elvis's belongings. So I worry about GWS and Priscilla and their little very cozy friendship concerning selling items, Elvis items. Okay, I'm going to be straight. So I do worry that Bridget helped Priscilla do things that we, the Elvis fans, might not like. So that is why I've always said, look, we like Bridget. We want Bridget to win, but she was involved in things I think the Elvis fans wouldn't like. Okay, so that is why I've kept on the fence with Bridget. I've always said, and then I did once say to Shauna on her Tenderly Loving Elvis show, be careful, yeah. And guys, I'm not happy about. It does feel like Shauna doesn't like Riley Q. It does feel like Bridget doesn't like Riley Q. So I've always had a bit of a problem with that, which is why I also said to Shauna, come on, it's Elvis's granddaughter, it's Lisa's daughter. If you're going to support Elvis, you have to support his daughter and his bloodline, Riley, Finley, and Harper. So I definitely disagree with Shauna on that. I did get the feeling that Bridget isn't keen on Riley. Okay, so that's just me being honest and straight up. Right. So massive news today. It's all come out. It's everywhere. I don't know if it's going to go on the TV shows, if it's going to become like that. Like it's going to be headline news on the different news outlets around the world. But it's definitely on all of the little small. Let me just. Shall I get it up on here? So if I just type in Priscilla Presley, what's the main thing they're all saying? Turns off life support. Is that what it is? And just to see how many different people are saying it. I mean, I've had it sent to me by a lot of people. So there we are straight away. You've got The Independent. Priscilla Presley accused of pulling Lisa Marie's life support machine, lawsuit allegations. Remember, when it's lawsuit allegations, it isn't a criminal case. It isn't evidence of a criminal proof. It's hearsay in a lawsuit. In a lawsuit, you can just say things and it will be discussed. It's only when the judge turns around and says, prove it, then it can become much more serious. So Bridget is in a position where she can just say, I think this, I heard this. Priscilla said, I want to be the queen of Graceland. Priscilla said, I want to control Graceland. Bridget can say, there's a secret grandchild in Florida. Yeah, Bridget can say it. It's only when they ask to prove it, things change. Okay? So in lawsuits, there is a lot of leeway for just discussion. Yeah? So let me keep going, guys. So in case you've just joined us, Brigitte Kruse did join our last show just now. Yeah? And thank you, Bridget, for jumping in. And she, it's pretty obvious with Bridget. She sorry, I just want to put some water in this. It's pretty obvious, guys, that Bridget can't talk about the lawsuit because it's ongoing. I get that completely. So she's only. I do think if she does come in and comment, which I think she may do, it will be just a few little short words because she's in an awkward position. Yeah. So. Right, so before I start reading Tony Ortega's 27 points of the court case, the lawsuit. I got my teas ready. Do you know what? All of my plans have been postponed today because of what's happening. So we are going camping the day after tomorrow. I'm going to take you guys with me camping. Going camping. Do we remember the Carry On films? Carry On Camping? Sid James. Come on, we all love Sid James, didn't we? So I just want to quickly say before I start reading it, I do think, and Bridget is probably watching. Just so you know, guys, there's a good chance Brigitte Kruse is watching us. I actually get on all right with Bridget. I don't have a problem with her. I don't dislike her. I just have strong views about everything. Yeah. I actually, if I had a choice, I would choose Bridget. Trust me. Yeah. Now, I just want to say this. I think all of this mess that's concerning Priscilla, the DNR, the turning off of the machine, resuscitation and all that stuff, and the stuff that is now being just put out, that Brigitte Kruse is saying that Priscilla said, I want to be in charge of Graceland. I'm in charge. She said it at the funeral of Lisa. I also think that Brigitte Kruse giving the impression that they did not try to resuscitate Lisa is because of Priscilla. I think this is all embedded in the lawsuit. So you've got the two lawsuits. So you've got Brigitte Kruse's lawsuit that she feels she's owed compensation because Priscilla reneged on the contract. I do believe that Priscilla just changed her mind. I honestly do believe that. I also believe that Brigitte Kruse did try to help Priscilla. Priscilla was in trouble financially. I do believe that Bridget came up with a master plan where they were all going to make money. Yeah, I do believe that. I also believe that Priscilla just changed her mind. I believe that. Yeah. Now, this bit where Priscilla allegedly intentionally did not want the machine, did not want Lisa Marie, poor Lisa Marie, God rest her soul, because we miss her, to be resuscitated. I think the second time, yeah, or was it second or third time, something like that. Or if there's a DNR, who knows, yeah. I just think it's all become a bit of a fiasco concerning the lawsuit. So you've got Brigitte Kruse is firing darts, trying to win her case, trying to get a reaction, almost like playing chess from Priscilla's camp. What's his name? What's his name? I've forgotten his name now. So I do feel that there's a bit of backing and forthing now where they're both saying silly things to each other to try and get a reaction. So who's going to climb down? Who's going to first offer to settle? Who's going to just end the whole thing? It's all a bit of a fiasco. So now we've got news out there that there's a secret grandchild. The newest news is Brigitte Kruse, who does seem to not be winning, is now, but Priscilla is the reason Lisa Marie wasn't resuscitated. You get it? I just feel like there's they're firing missiles at each other to get a reaction within the lawsuit. Yeah. But I also have to accept it could be true. It could be true. Maybe Priscilla did stop Lisa from being resuscitated. Yeah, it could be true because that's what Bridget is saying. She hasn't proved it, but she is saying it. Yeah. So then you've got Priscilla's lawyer saying this is an absolute joke that Bridget is saying these disgusting things. It might be deliberate. 1 minute of deliberate. Come on. Oh. Okay. Okay. Right, that's enough. No more barking. Right, let's get on with it because we're going to run out of time, guys. Woo! Honestly, I really have given up a lot of my time. What is your email? I'll send it you. Hi, Bridget. Welcome. So what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to do, guys, is read this shortened version of the court case to you guys. It's 27 bits long, and right, I'm just writing out. Right, so there's the email address. Bridget, welcome to Defending Elvis. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to try and be as fair as possible to Bridget and to Priscilla. Yeah, obviously, you know, I'm upset with Priscilla. I've got strong things. I'm not a Priscilla fan. Yeah, but I want to be fair. I want to be fair. Yeah. Now, if I'm saying anything, so I'm here just to watch the rest of you. Please know I'm sending you all love. Thank you, Bridget. We send you love as well. So I want to be fair. I want to be fair. I want to be kind. I want to defend as if Elvis was watching me. I want to defend as if Elvis was watching me. I want to be kind and fair and loving and caring. Okay, guys? So I'm not going to take sides, even though Bridget, I actually do want you to win. You do know that, Bridget. I've always wanted you to win. I've never been against you winning. I just think the lawsuit world is pretty nuts, pretty crazy. Yeah. So obviously, if anyone wants to ask Brigitte Kruse questions, I'm sure she'll answer some. It's awkward for her because there's a lawsuit. There's a lawsuit going on. She can only say so much. So she did say to me, can you read the documents? So I'm going to give it a go. But I don't want to be here forever. So this is a shortened version. So I did get it up on the screen. Let's see if you can see it. Let's have a look. Right, okay, this is a shortened version. It's the Underground Bunker, Tony Ortega. We've heard it. Obviously, he's well known, isn't he? We watch his channel sometimes. So there's a picture of Priscilla and Bridget in good days, in good days and bad. Yeah, okay. Right. So let's just read it, and I will get your comments up on right, okay. So let me just have a look. I'm gonna get your comments up. Right, I'm gonna get the comments up. Let's have a look. I want to be able to see your comments as I read this. The dogs are probably going to bark. You know what it's like, guys. The kids are probably going to climb on me. It's the usual stuff, isn't it, eh? Okay, we've definitely had an interesting year since I first spoke to Bridget. Bridget has joined our show before. We've had a topsy-turvy, upside-down year. Very dramatic. The most dramatic YouTube channel ever. Right, so there's a couple of people that are on the cool down mode, and this is one of them. There's certain people that get a little bit too frisky with me. I'm putting them in cool down mode. Okay, so that's just me being nice, right? Okay, let's have a look. Let's just start reading it. In February, I'll put that down. In February, Brigitte Kruse told us that she had some bombshells coming on about Priscilla Presley after the two had become locked in litigation in Florida and California. Let's get this working. This week, she followed through on that nuclear blast. In a lawsuit she filed on Monday in Los Angeles, Kruse alleges that when Priscilla's daughter Lisa Marie Presley fell ill in January 2023 and was on life support, and with Lisa Marie's daughter Riley Keel rushing on a flight to come to the scene, Priscilla made the decision to pull the plug on Lisa Marie's care, expressly against the wishes of a directive Lisa had signed to extend her life as much as possible in such a situation. Right. Well, isn't that the nitty gritty? Yeah. So let's read that bit again. Kruse alleges, so Bridget's here with us now, that the daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, fell ill. We know about that. Lisa's daughter, Riley Keough, was rushing on a flight to the scene. Priscilla made the decision to pull the plug. Now, in this, Bridget is saying, yeah, it's my house. Yeah, we've got the same house. So in this, so my wife just walked in now. She's noisier than the dogs. All right, Anne. How's it going, all right? Do you want to say hello? The wife's here behind me. She's in the garden. She's doing something. So Priscilla made the decision to pull the plug, expressly against the wishes of directive Lisa had signed to extend her life. Now, I didn't know that Lisa had signed a directive that her to extend her life as much as possible in such a situation. Now, I don't think Bridget can comment. If you want to, please do. If you can't, I understand. Okay? Right. So in case you don't know, guys, Brigitte Kruse has joined us here. Yeah? Right. Last night, media reports about the new 50 million lawsuit spread quickly and provided such background on the escalating fight between Kruse and Priscilla, but we thought you would want to see the actual language from the lawsuit itself, which does a good job of explaining how these two women who in the past were so close, which Bridget has told us, they were very close. Bridget dearly loved Priscilla. She was gutted when they fell out and missed her friendship. Yeah, this was said on other YouTube channels. Yeah, so I don't know if Bridget still feels the same way now. I doubt she's going to answer, but Bridget, do you still miss your friendship with Priscilla? Right, summary of the case. Thanks, Bridget. Laura, just quickly say hello to Bridget. Just quickly come over. Just very, very quickly in the front of the camera. Stand by me.
Hello.
Oh, I can't see you. Let me just put your head behind mine. I know. I know. It's right. I know what it is. There's a delay. So what I'm looking at there is probably.
Oh.
So say hello, Bridget. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks. There was. She popped a little head in there for you, Bridget. Okay. Right. Here we go then, guys. So, number one, summary of the case. Elvis Presley is the king of rock and roll. Defendant Priscilla Presley, defendant of Priscilla, always wanted to be queen. In fact, despite flaunting public persona that only wanted to protect and keep her family together, Priscilla ultimately wanted one thing: power, no matter the cost. She did anything she could to control her image with the public. Fair enough. That's fair enough. What stood in Priscilla's way was a tumultuous, tenuous relationship with her daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis and Priscilla's only daughter. After Elvis's death on the 16th of August 1977, which is a couple of days away, isn't it, guys? His estate was placed in a trust for Lisa, his heir, who became the sole beneficiary of the trust after Lisa's grandfather, great-grandmother each passed. Elvis's father, Vernon, was initial trustee and executor of the Elvis estate, while Vernon was on his deathbed in 1979 and was otherwise weak and unable to defend his estate. Priscilla, the opportunist who only thought of herself, placed a lien on Graceland's, strong-arming Vernon into making her co-executive of the estate, taking over management of the trust. Wow. Did you get that from me, Bridget? How many times have I said in a live stream, I felt that the lien was her twisting the arm of Vernon to get her as a co-executor? I've always said it. Thank you, Bridget. Did you get that from me? Come on. I've always said that debt that was placed on Graceland's on the second divorce settlement, the lien, the deed of trust that was created to create this debt, was the arm twister that gave her the leverage to be a co-executor, and then to be the person who fronted the Living Museum. Priscilla was the front, the face of the Living Museum. And that is why Priscilla has always took credit, full credit, her and Jack Sodden, for coming up with the idea of the Living Museum and saving Graceland. I don't believe Priscilla saved Graceland. I don't believe it was Priscilla's idea to do that museum. I think we can prove it as well. So yes, leverage was the lien, the debt on Graceland is why Priscilla came to power. I've always thought that. Always thought it. So come on, Bridget. Was it because of me? Did you get that from me? Okay, let's keep going. I'm only joking. Right, number 3. The original trust dissolved on February the 1st, 1993, when Lisa turned 25, at which point she inherited the estate. Since Priscilla divorced Elvis, she was effectively entitled to nothing, as she was not mentioned in Elvis' will. And in fact, the pursuant to her divorce agreement, she became supposed to stop using her name Presley after Elvis died in 1977. So they did agree she was going to stop using that name. It was in principle, it was just a chat. However, Priscilla continued to use the Presley name as she needed to exploit the name for her own financial gain. Despite Elvis's wishes otherwise, Priscilla's use of the Presley name was ultimately her name, image and likeness were crucial to her survival. I agree. And she did say she was going to stop using the name, but she didn't, did she, guys? Because she realised financially it was a killer, wasn't it? Her not using the Presley name was a big negative in her life. She knew she needed that name, but so stupidly she sells it to Bob. Actually, no, because she had a divorce, but she did have this back payment with Bob Silliman, didn't she? It was at 2005. He didn't even have to pay her, but he wanted to keep her on side, because I've always believed that behind the scenes, Priscilla encouraged Lisa to sell 85% of Elvis Presley Enterprises. I've always thought it. I've always thought, yes, it was Lisa's decision. She could sign the contracts. Everything belonged to Lisa because Elvis gave everything to Lisa. He didn't want to give anything to Priscilla. But because Priscilla was acting on behalf of Lisa, I believe that she encouraged Lisa to sell 85% of Elvis Presley Enterprises. I also understand that Lisa was in trouble. There was a lot of debt. You know, she wasn't a businesswoman. So, her financial management was terrible. She probably felt she needed Priscilla. But selling off 85% just to a management company like Bob Silliman should never have happened, guys. Should never have happened. But I understand it's not that simple. Lisa had a 25 million debt. And also Bob Silliman did pay an absolute fortune. The money he paid for Elvis Presley Enterprises was massive. And don't forget, that did include, after a $3 million rental payment, it did include renting Gracelands to Elvis Presley Enterprises. Yeah? So, right. So, there's so many parts here, guys. We're not going to be able to do this in one show. I'm just going to keep going till we hit an hour. And then I'm going to have to walk the dog. And then we're going to have to do another part. Okay? So, I can't read your comments because I need to get through this. But thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Right. So, of course, Bridget Kruse is with us. Right. So, since Lisa was sole heir of the estate, which included ownership and control of Graceland, Priscilla was substantially dependent upon, intertwined with Lisa. Priscilla clung to Lisa and could not fathom being a mere afterthought of the Presley legacy. After all, in her mind, she was the queen. Priscilla nevertheless resented Lisa and even brought her to the Church of Scientology at a young age, doing cocaine with Lisa. We know about this. And getting her hooked on drugs. In reality, so you're actually saying she actually got her hooked on drugs. That's interesting. So obviously, I think it's mentioned in this book that there was cocaine, sex parties, a lot of alcohol. Yeah, she would leave poor Lisa Marie alone with Michael Edwards a lot, so Priscilla could go out and live her life. I think we know that Priscilla loved men, loved traveling, loved money, loved business, loved fame, loved attention, loved the TVs, the movies. You get it, guys? Priscilla loves working as well. Right. So Priscilla envied Lisa for being in the spotlight, which I definitely believe. And come on, all the attention was on Lisa. Everyone adored Lisa much more than Priscilla. Priscilla did get a lot of attention, but Lisa was the angel, wasn't she? In public, Priscilla portrayed the opposite persona, one of a doting mother and a matriarch known to her grandchildren as Nonna. This was her image, but nothing could be further than the truth. Now, I believe that, guys. I believe that. So let's keep going. Just check your comments. So when Lisa came into her inheritance in 1993, at the age of 25, she established her own trust, which was ultimately called the Promenade Trust. The trust was a revocable living trust designed to protect Lisa's assets and manage her inheritance from Elvis's estate, including Graceland, valued in an aggregate at the time at around 100 million. The Promenade Financial Management, Barry Siegel, a very dodgy person who ripped off poor Lisa Marie's manager, who was very close to Priscilla. Priscilla's longtime financial manager became heavily involved in managing Lisa's finances. Now, we know that Barry Siegel completely ripped her off, and Lisa Marie had to sue him. Yeah, I think he tried to counter sue, but it didn't work out. So everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only, just opinions, discussion, not fact. We're just having a chat on YouTube, guys. Despite Elvis's wishes otherwise, Priscilla continued to exploit the Presley name to fund her lifestyle, eventually deploying another part of her master plan to live off the Presley name. Priscilla demanded $6.5 million in 2005 for her own personal gain, and so she can compete against Lisa, her own daughter. Priscilla deliberately chose to ignore Priscilla's wishes, attempting to forever live off Elvis's hard work and good name, entering into a purchase and sale agreement with Elvis Presley Enterprises, an entity that is majority owned by Authentic Brand. Elvis EPE manages Elvis Presley intellectual properties, including his name, image, and likeness. Okay, I think we know about that, don't we, guys? Yeah. So number 7. In 2010, under Siegel and Priscilla's stewardship, Lisa amended the Promenade Trust, listing Priscilla and Siegel as co-trustees and executive in advance of healthcare directive, where Lisa specifically instructed that she wanted her life to be prolonged, along with the possible, if making end-of-life decision, emphasis. So Exhibit A. So I want my life to be prolonged as long as possible within the limits generally accepted within health standards. Okay, and it shows her signature there as well. Okay, so she would have wanted to be resuscitated. Yeah, right. So this, by the looks of it, was done in 2010. Okay, so that's Bridget giving her proof that she did want to be resuscitated. Yeah, so to not resuscitate her would be going against her wishes that she placed in 2010. Okay. So that is 2010. There's a possibility that was changed, but don't forget Benjamin died, we know, under horrific circumstances. So let's be fair, yeah? Right. After becoming aware that Priscilla and Siegel mismanaged her finances, stealing her money from her, Lisa amended the Promenade Trust again in 2016, appointing herself as trustee and listing her son, daughter Ben and Riley as successors to trustee. Lisa filed suit against Siegel in 2018 for financial mismanagement. Lisa later settled with Siegel for $6.5 million. Lisa agreed not to name Priscilla in her claims against Siegel if Priscilla agreed not to speak to the Department of Child and Family Service in the midst of Lisa's divorce to Michael Lockwood. Priscilla, tied to the hip of her co-conspirator Siegel, ultimately abandoned Lisa and pursued greed, ensuring that Siegel maintained a role as her business manager. Lisa and Priscilla were estranged. So this is the 8 years, isn't it, where they didn't talk, that people keep bringing up. And Priscilla was once again out on the outside looking in. Okay, we've quite a lot in there, guys. But we've done all this, haven't we? This is all stuff we've researched a few times. Where's the dog? All right, let me let the dog back in. Despite her public persona, Priscilla has obsession with being known like Elvis, and she led a lavish lifestyle, ultimately burning through $6.5 million. She was able to extricate from the estate, despite Elvis's wishes in their divorce that she not use his name. By 2021, Priscilla was financially destitute. Although she lived a fast-paced, glamorous life, in reality, she owed nearly $700,000 to the IRS and was broke. So this is where I think Bridget steps in, yeah, to help her. So all of this we know about, don't we, guys? No, so sorry I'm not reading your comments, guys, but I have to get through this because I don't have that long, yeah? In 2022, Priscilla approached plaintiff Kruse. Kruse, who was known for selling Elvis memorabilia, was initially introduced to Priscilla because Kruse was informed that a man claimed to be Elvis's grandson. Kruse met with Priscilla and was able to shut the situation down. Priscilla then confided in Kruse about her financial woes and approached Kruse and Fialco about investing in her, never disclosing that she sold the rights to her last name. So hang on a minute. So was it true? So does that mean it wasn't true about this secret grandchild? Hang on, I'm reading so fast. Let me just read that bit again. Kruse was informed that a man claimed to be Elvis's grandson. Kruse met with Priscilla and was able to shut this situation down. Right, so it wasn't true. So I don't know. So Bridget, are you allowed to say that? So in the end, this thing about a secret grandchild was not true. Yeah? So that's you discounting that you'd made that allegation earlier in the lawsuit. Okay. So was it not true? Yeah. I think the fans deserve to know that. Is it not true about the secret grandchild? Yeah. Was it just bullshit? Yeah. Please comment. I think that's important because you are the one that put it out there. Yeah. Bridget, you are the one that said there is a secret grandchild. So if it's not true, let us know. I'll just wait while you reply. It is true or it isn't true. What is it? Guys, what do you think? So Team Elvis, what do you think, guys? I'll just quickly go through your comments and we'll just, I can't force Bridget to answer. I'm not even sure if Bridget's allowed to answer, but we know she's watching because she is it true? Is that what are you saying based on that little comment there? Kruse was informed that a man claimed to be Elvis's grandson. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to force Bridget to answer. I just okay. Let's keep going. Priscilla then confided in Kruse about her financial woes, approached Kruse and Fialco about investing in her, never disclosed it. Then she sold the rights to her last name. Well, a well-known auctioneer who had a reputation of selling coveted Elvis Presley memorabilia, and plaintiff Fialco, a Desert Storm veteran and successful entrepreneur who had amassed an impressive collection of Elvis Presley memorabilia. So we're talking Colonel Tom Parker, yeah? To help correct her financial affairs, which were in severe distress. Exhibit B, memorandum, the understanding Priscilla used to induce Kruse and Fialco to invest in her. Kruse, a mother of 2 special needs children, who has been honored by the United States Congress and the mayor of Los Angeles, and who has been knighted by a royal family for her work serving special needs children. Kruse has spent a significant time raising money for special needs children in a third world countries. Fialco accepted Presley's request and devoted themselves full time to assisting, repairing, stabilizing, and improving Presley's financial situation. Okay, and then we've got some signatures here. Okay, let's keep going, guys. So among other strategies, Kruse and Fialco and Priscilla worked to exploit her name, image, and likeness. Kruse and Fialco deployed IP known how creative marketing to enhance Priscilla's brand. To that end, Priscilla's request and with Priscilla's attorney, Lynn Walker Wright, they formed several companies to own, manage, and exploit Priscilla's name, image, and likeness, which were to be managed by Kruse and Fialco for the benefit of Priscilla. Kruse and Fialco, Priscilla licensed the nil rights to Priscilla Presley Partners and its sub-licensees exclusive use PPP in turn gave non-exclusive sub-licenses in Presley, Neil. Then there's some letters of recollection and virtual recollections to pursue the various business objectives. Priscilla further entered into a multiple agreement regarding her NIL, name, image, and likeness, in which she agreed not to compete and to cooperate with the exploitation of her name, image, and likeness. Presley further agreed to disclose business opportunities for the benefit of the companies. Priscilla never disclosed to Kruse Fialco, who invested thousands of hours of their time and who otherwise invested millions of dollars into Priscilla, that she previously sold the rights and exploits her name, image, and likeness years before. So yes, she did. Bob Silliman bought her name, didn't he? Now it was quite an unofficial thing because he did the big deal to buy Elvis Presley, and 85% to get 85% of Elvis Presley Enterprises, and within that deal, she agreed to. I think the name Graceland and the name Presley was used, but Priscilla never officially. It was more of a backhander, wasn't it? It was more. I heard it was 6.3 million, not 6.5, but a backhander like, here you go. I don't have to give it you, but I personally think Priscilla encouraged the deal to go through. I think, just my opinion for entertainment purposes, I think Priscilla said all the right things at the right time to make Lisa go, okay, let's do it. Because I would have thought Lisa would have thought long and hard whether or not to sell 85% of Elvis Presley Enterprise. I think it's even in the book where around that time Priscilla goes on the tour bus with Lisa, when she was performing, and was making the band members tea and stuff, and they got on very well. I think it's it. I'm pretty sure it's in this book that Priscilla got on very well with Lisa during that time on the bus. They sort of reconnected, but coincidentally, it's around that time that these contracts were signed. What do you think, guys? Oh, thanks, Bridget. She is lovely. Yeah, thank you. So, I'm very lucky to have my wife. Very lucky. Yeah. And she gives me a hard time, man. She's always on my case. Oh, let's not go there. Right. So we're all getting ready to go camping the day after tomorrow. So all the things I was going to do today, I'm going to now do later because this has come up. Right. So guys, I only want to do this for an hour. So let's just see. There's over 50 of you watching. Thank you very much. Brigitte Kruse is with us, guys. It's all headline news today. Today's a big day, isn't it? Yeah. I know that all the people that hate Priscilla all want to say, yes, Priscilla is killed her daughter. But guys, we got to get all the facts out there. We got to know everything, learn as much as we can, and have an informed decision. There is a massive lawsuit happening that involves a lot of money. So allegedly for entertainment purposes, let's try and see all the information we can. At the moment, I'm going through a shortened version, I think, of the court documents concerning the latest lawsuit stuff. Yeah? Remember, I'm just a fan at home. I'm no expert. I know nothing. So I'm just reading it off. But actually, most of it, I have... A lot of this stuff that's on here, I've researched before, and we've gone through many of the things here before in my different videos over the last year or so. So, right, despite Priscilla's misinterpretation, Kruse and Fialco worked feverishly to maximize the value of Priscilla's name, spending countless hours cleaning up, otherwise handling numerous disputes Priscilla was involved in, drafting public statements for her, and otherwise controlling and growing her image, brand. Kruse and Fialco ignored their own business, which suffered financially because Priscilla's finances were in shambles and required full-time attention. I can imagine. Yeah. Come on, she doesn't know how to manage money. Let's face it. I think we know that about Priscilla. When Priscilla first approached Kruse and Fialco, patrons were paying about $30 per ticket for appearances. The shows almost never sold out. Well, I think even now she still struggles to sell out her shows, doesn't she? Even the one that we've got here in England on the 4th of October in Bristol Hippodrome Theatre, there was loads of spare tickets, loads. I got the last ticket that's nearer the front, but there was loads of tickets further back, yeah? I think she was even offering discounts, yeah? Priscilla was earning a net profit of around £6,000 to £9,500 per event, despite spending upwards of £90,000 per month on her lifestyle. Kruse and Fialco used their combined business experience to set up a question and answer corporate events, increasing ticket prices to as much as $750 each. And Priscilla began earning a net profit of between $25,000 and $50,000 for given events. Okay, well, I know that you're proud, Bridget. I know you're proud of that, but from the point of view of the customer, that ain't good. Everything's too expensive. Inflation. Elvis wouldn't be happy with that. So everything's way too expensive. My wife had a fish and chips the other day. It was £15. £15 for one fish and chips. That's crazy. Anyway, you know, I'm just saying, you know. By the end of 2022, Kruse and Fialco had already invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into Priscilla's building and numerous brands around her. Fialco also came up with the idea of Priscilla to write Softly As I Leave You. See, that's not going to go down well, Bridget. That's not going to go down well with the fans. The fans are very worried about Priscilla writing a book, another book, first one since 1985. Don't forget, that book, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes, was a book of lies, a reinvention of the truth, a rewriting of history, a brainwashing of the public around the world for 40 years, a fake fairy tale. So that's just my opinion for entertainment purposes, just an opinion. So Softly As I Leave You. The one thing I will say is you can't softly leave Elvis. The way she did it, I know Elvis was naughty as well, I get it. But the way she left Elvis with Mike Stone was terrible. Dragging poor Lisa Marie away from her father to live with a complete stranger. Come on. So Softly As I Leave You is laughable as a title. I know it's a song, but come on, guys. That was not a softly way of leaving anybody. Now set to publish on the September the 23rd, 2025, the plaintiffs have now been forced to send a cease and desist letter since Presley is exploiting her name, image, and likeness without including plaintiffs in direct violation of her agreement. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis opened at a box office in June on the same year and was earning significant awards season. Shauna ultimately being nominated for 8 Academy Awards. Kruse and Fialco saw it as an opportunity to continue the course, correct Priscilla's brand, but Priscilla saw it as an opportunity to get back in the spotlight and gain control. Now, this cease and desist letter, isn't that something to do with you appearing on different YouTube channels? For example, Shauna's, yeah? Even now, Shauna has been saying things that legally could get her in trouble, yeah? Even Shauna's recent show that she did last night, discussing these matters as if what Bridget said is fact, she's got to be careful, because none of it has been proven. The things that Bridget Kruse is saying happened, nothing has been proved. So when I see Shauna saying it did happen, we can't do that. We can't do that. We're not the police. We're not a judge. All we can do is list the facts. Okay, the public can give their own opinions. Yeah, but the bottom line is we don't know what happened. We don't know. We weren't there. Nothing has been proved. Yeah, do we agree with that? So, Shauna, be careful, mate, because you'll get yourself in trouble. Be careful. Right, number 15. Lisa and Priscilla were each planning to attend the 2023 Golden Globe on January the 10th, 2023, in support of Elvis, but Lisa had no desire to see or otherwise be near Priscilla. Lisa had been in a long-running dispute with Siegel, and she resented that Priscilla stayed with Siegel, further betraying her trust. Crucially, Priscilla was aware that Lisa was getting ready to remove her as the sole trustee of Lisa's irrevocable life insurance trust and otherwise threatening to sue her. Kruse and Fialco nevertheless worked to keep the family together, working with Priscilla publicist and arranging for Lisa and Priscilla to walk the red carpets together and sit next to one another. Well, now that is a big section. I'm gonna stop there, guys. I want to start from number 15 and go to the end on a separate show. That is a big section. Yeah. So, you know, again, Bridget, you are very involved in some important things that does affect the fans. Obviously, the book, Softly as I Leave You, you're heavily involved in that. That will concern fans. So I just want to read that section again before I go. Lisa and Priscilla were each planning to attend the 2020 Golden Globes Award on the 2020 in support of Elvis, but Lisa had no desire to see or otherwise be near Priscilla. So that's interesting. So it's very clear they weren't talking, but I think we knew that. I think we've all heard they didn't want to be together. Jerry Schilling brought her, didn't he? Lisa had been a long-running dispute with Siegel, so we know about the Barry Siegel ripped her off, and she resented that Priscilla stayed with Siegel. Yeah, Priscilla. When you say Priscilla stayed with Siegel, they weren't lovers, were they? So Bridget, were they lovers? Was Priscilla and Barry Siegel lovers? I didn't know that. So yeah, of course, Lisa Marie is not going to be happy that Barry Siegel, the bloke who ripped off and nearly bankrupt poor Lisa Marie, her mother has stayed best friends with Barry Siegel, who was her manager, who ripped her off, who she sued. Yeah, so yeah, don't forget there's a possibility here, allegedly, that Priscilla was involved in all of that. Yeah, so very scary because that's your daughter. Further to betraying her trust, it's very clear that Priscilla betrayed Lisa's trust. Crucially, Priscilla was aware that Lisa was getting ready to remove her as a sole trustee. And I do think that Amy Collett, our advisor, has done some research here and did prove that Priscilla knew that Lisa was trying to remove her as sole trustee of Lisa's irrevocable life insurance trust. Yeah. So Priscilla tries to give the impression that when she found out about the amendments, that it was a complete surprise and it was fraud and the signature was wrong, it was dated wrong, she hadn't informed her, when the truth is Priscilla knew all about it. So when Priscilla threatened legal action about this dispute that she said she didn't know about, actually she did know. She did know. And I do think thanks. Oh, Pat's bought me a coffee. Thank you, Pat. That's so kind of you. I do think that Priscilla did know about the amendments. Yeah. So that means that Priscilla saying she didn't know was a complete lie. She lied to the world. Priscilla Presley lied to the world. Yeah. Allegedly for entertainment purposes. This is a discussion program, not fact. We're just sharing opinions and we're discussing something. Okay. Nevertheless, work to keep the family together, worked with Priscilla, publicist, and arranging for Lisa and Priscilla to walk the red carpet together and sit next to one another. So, you know, it does look like Brigitte Kruse and her husband and the team, you know, they've got a team, haven't they? Got some associates, are the reason that Lisa and Priscilla walked the red carpet together and sat next to each other, even though they didn't like each other. I just want to read number 16. Lisa was noticeably ill, complaining to Priscilla about her health. Priscilla ignored the warning signs, despite being only a short drive from the world-renowned Cedars Medical Center. Instead, Priscilla clasped to the spotlight, going out to the was at the Chateau Marmont for drinks with Lisa, and then sent Lisa on a long drive journey to Calais. Right, this is where it all turns a bit nasty, yeah? So I want to do this on a separate show, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to walk the dogs, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to go through this thing. Okay. Well, I think so a man was actually claiming to be Elvis's son, not grandson. All right. Okay. Thank you, Bridget. Yeah. So, Tony Ortega has shared a very interesting document, hasn't he? Yeah. I think Bridget will agree that that is very detailed, gives us a very good explanation of what's gone on. Unfortunately, I do have a life here, and there's stuff I got to do. So I'm going to walk the dogs. I've got to do something with the camper van, and I am going to come back in probably an hour, and we're going to do the second part of this. So I do want to give a special thank you to Brigitte Kruse for joining us. This is a big deal. Today is a big deal. Today is a moment in history because Bridget is saying that Priscilla could have been involved in why Lisa was not resuscitated, even though she did want to be, because she proves that in 2010 she signed something saying, keep her alive, keep her alive. So it's big news. Now, of course, I try to be impartial as much as possible, even though I am, an Elvis fan, a Lisa Marie fan. So what I'm trying to do with you guys, and I'm glad that Bridget has joined us because I just think it does make a difference. Yeah. The grandson, she says the grandson, right. Okay. So Bridget, the grandson is a different story. I'd like to know if that is true. The egg was donated by either Riley or Lisa for John Travolta's wife, Kelly Preston. Is that true? I'd like to know if it's true. Yeah. But I can see what you're saying now, that the Elvis's son, Elvis's fake son, was another thing. I get that. Yeah. So we're going to come back. We're going to finish off reading this. I am going to try and stay impartial and try and just get the facts out there. And then really we're going to have to wait for this lawsuit to unfold. I'm sure they'll get to a point where the judge says, prove it to Bridget. Bridget is saying, the headline news grabbing sentence is that Priscilla, you get what I mean? That Priscilla didn't want Lisa resuscitated. Yeah. Because she wanted to be the queen of Gracelands, in control of Gracelands. So to prove that, it can't just be Brigitte Kruse saying it. It has to be, can it be proved? Can it be proved? And the other big question that we're all asking, was it Priscilla that signed the do not resuscitate order or turned off the machine, unplugged the machine? Was that left to Priscilla? Was that decision made before Riley turned up? Isn't that the big question here? Because to end things, if Priscilla made that decision to not resuscitate Lisa, that is scary. That is scary. Not only scary, almost criminal. Unless she's brain dead, that's different. If she's brain dead and they turn off the machine, that is different than she had chance of life. Did Lisa have chance of life if they tried again to resuscitate her? Yeah. Very, a tough thing to talk about. Yeah, guys? So that's it. If anyone wants to leave a last comment before I go, I understand emotions are high on this. Obviously, we all love Lisa, don't we? We miss her. We're gutted for her. We're very concerned what went on with Priscilla, with the DNR, with do not resuscitate, with unplugging the machine, all of the things that led up to to Lisa dying. We're all gutted and worried about it, aren't we, guys? So thanks, Bridget, for joining us. It's Bridget, would you like to say anything before I go? We are going to come back maybe in an hour or so, and we're going to do part 2 of this. And thank you to my researcher for sending me this. I think it's 28 comments, and we're up to number 15. I have a feeling the second half is going to be quite upsetting. Yeah. So guys, thank you for joining me, and I'm going to get out there and walk the dogs. Okay. I may go live on the dog walk. I'll see. I'm a bit tired. We'll see. Okay, guys. Love you all. Thank you. And thank you to Brigitte Kruse. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Defending Elvis. Thank you to Team Elvis.